Good morning, musical theater writing. It's Kevin Blow, and we had a snow day yesterday, so I wanted to touch base with you about what you've done already and what we're going to do in the future. Talk about the homework, and give you some announcements and such. So let's start with going to the class website, and as you can see, I posted some shows on campus to see. Next to Normal, Curtain Up, Cabaret. We should really support these events, and it's really good education for us as musical theater writers. So put these in your calendar. I'm not sure about the Next to Normal dates. I've been trying to look at the musical theater club website and figure it out, but I can't seem to do that. So, but it's somewhere around here. Okay. The next thing, you are going to have to access the online reserves to do your next homework assignment. So if we look at library.berkeley.edu and then class reserves, and we go down to songwriting 345, it's almost at the very bottom, so you can scroll all the way down. And then here's mine, Kevin Blow. If you go to online reserve, okay, now you are going to have to, as a student, you are going to have to put in the class password, which is, I will show you in just a second. So I'm going to log in myself, but for you to do it, you are going to have to use the password Broadway, okay? Lowercase, all lowercase, and that will get you into the site, okay? Here are the AABA song forms, and this is what I wanted you to look at. So if I just want to go, trying to figure out how to navigate back to that page so you can find it. But anyway, AABA song forms. Now you'll see there are a bunch of AABA songs here, and you can play the audio and you can listen to them. So this one, obviously, Saving All My Love for You, is not a musical theater song. It's a regular pop song. And then another one in here is as well, but most of these are AABA musical theater writing, musical theater songs. Okay. All right. Okay. So I wanted to touch base with you on your homework, and your homework was on the Full Monty, right? So you had to choose one song. So part one was you had to choose a song and do some analysis on it, do a few different things on it. So the song that I'm going to do is Scrap. That was one we started talking about yesterday, and I think it's really important, so I'll just talk about that one. And then most of you will be submitting other ones that you chose, right? But so let's take a look at Scrap. Now let's play Scrap a little bit here so we remember what that sounds like. And
what I want, that's easy, asshole. I want a job, I want to feel like a person instead of a slob. I want to wake up knowing where I'm gonna go, not going nowhere, wandering the streets of Buffalo, cause it's a slow town when you don't know where to go. I'll be wetting down the razor, then I'll figure what's the point, so I go into the living room, roll another joint, then lunch, then a beer, then sitting like an ape on the sofa with a hanky and the same old porno tape, and that's a big day when you're Scrap. What I want, I'll tell you, jerky. I want a life, I want to feel like a husband instead of a wife. I want to get some sleep when I go to bed instead of lying there digging through the garbage in my head. It's a long night when you're Scrap. It's a long, long night when you're Scrap. Scrap, yeah, yeah.
okay, so Scrap, great song. We're going to go into a totally different section at this point, which I might play a little bit later. But let's go through and take a look at it. So you had to answer some questions. First of all, solfegging. solfeging the melody. So sol la. I wrote down the solfege here. Sol la te fa mi do sol la re do re sol la te fa mi do la te do re do sol la te fa mi do. You see, so this motive keeps going on and on, using the same basic tones until you get to sol la sol la te sol. All right. Now, what do you learn from doing the solfege? Well, this is a mixolydian melody, right? It's all in B flat mixolydian, and that's the A flat tone here that we get. That really makes it sound like mixolydian, right? Okay, so you had to solfege that, and you had to write out a diagram of the song form. Okay, now the song form. Oops, I'm in the wrong. Song form is really important to musical theater because that's what determines the kind of music that we write, is what's going on in the action. And I just want to remind you what we talked about last week, where this is a verse-refrain form, and the refrain is da 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 da. When you're scrab, that's the refrain. So it's a 4-bar refrain after an 8-bar verse. Okay. And that's the basic form that we get throughout the song. And from last time, I remember telling you that Jerry gets 2 verses because he's the main character, right? We learn a lot about Jerry here. Then Dave's the secondary character. We learn quite a bit about Dave, but not quite as much. Dave and Jerry share this refrain. Then Malcolm and Ethan share a verse completely. So they're the tertiary characters, if you will. If Dave's the secondary character and Jerry's the primary character, they're the tertiary characters. Okay? Then we get a little dialogue break. 2 little dialogue breaks in here. The title, the hook, that's extended for 8 bars here, and we get a big chord for scrap, this big B flat 7 with a 9 and a 13 on it. Real fun chord. So again, calling attention to the title, scrap. We are scrap. We are like the scrap metal in our metal mill. Okay, and then we have verse 5 that talks about what they all want, and that's the purpose. What does Jerry want? A job. How he spends his day. Dave feels like a wife. He wants to be a husband. Ethan and Malcolm want friends. Okay, they all want purpose in their life. And this bridge coda toward the end, that is more examples of the things that they want. Veal or a steak on the table, something good, something stable as far as a job goes. So it's really important that they're talking about all the things that are important to them, and this will be the basis for the whole show. This is the first song, so we have to know that. And then, so this is again the title hook. It's sung in 4-part harmony, very dissonant for the last 12 bars. So that would be the song form layout, and this is something you should do on songs you like to see how they're put together and how that can help you with your writing. Okay. Now, some more things I was supposed to, we are all supposed to do once we have chosen a song, and that is to circle the main motives. So, da 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 dee dee dee. I consider that kind of motive A. Da 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 da, and this part is motive 1B. So I have these motives circled. They come back again and again. Da 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 dee 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 da. So there's all kinds of use of that mode. That thing happens again and again, right? But in my opinion, sort of the harmony is one of the main things that really gives this piece its interest, and that is, it seems like it's in B flat major here. But we have D flat, so that's kind of modal interchange. Maybe thinking about B flat minor. And then here in the clarinet we have B flat major, but then D flat, and then here's another, you know, maybe a wrong note. Okay, I'm just kind of I know it's not a wrong note. I know it's considered. I know it's purposeful and everything, but it kind of sounds out there compared to the rest of the chord. And I feel like there are a lot of wrong notes in this harmony that kind of characterize the guys as imperfect. You know, they're not refined, so the harmony is going to reflect that. Okay, so here we have B flat. You know, maybe major. We'll get to that in a second. But look, B flat minor in this ostinato here. Okay, so B flat major versus B flat minor. We already saw the B flat mixolydian in the melody, so everything's conflicting. All right, so here's an example of harmony. Okay, B flat major 7, right? 1 major 7. But look, A flat in the melody, A natural in the harmony, right? They grind at each other. Here is a really exposed fourth, sus4, right? But over here we have the third. So remember, you don't want to play the sus and the third at the same time. Well, why did they do it in this case? Because it is characterizing these guys as scrap. They don't really go to, you know, together. They're kind of dirty. They're kind of different. So we're going to put that in the harmony. All right, we go up to a B7 here. All right, but what do we have in the melody? A C. Okay, so, you know, the flat 9, I guess, dissonant note against this chord. We go back to a 1 7 sus4 here, and then to a 7 7. You know, on A, so a dominant 7. And again, we've got A flats and B flats in the melody against this A chord in the harmony. So lots of interesting harmonic ideas to characterize these guys as scrap. The main motive is leaping up a 5th here, right? Here and here. But we do leap up a 7th toward the hook, which is kind of fun. So the motive is developed out to a 7th leap from a 5th. So I just want to point that out about the motive. Okay, now I've done the harmonic analysis throughout here. When we come down to the part with Malcolm and Ethan, all of a sudden the harmony changes and we get this rhythm changes type thing where we go, it's actually all dominant chords. So normally you'd have 1 6 2 5, 1 6 minor, 2 minor, 5 7. So that would be like I got rhythm, but here we have the version of it with all the dominance. Okay, and listen to this music; it just changes the quality entirely at this point.
I know what I want. A place of my own. Could be a room even, just so it's mine. I don't know what I want. Somebody. I guess I'm lonely. I'm lonely.
So when Malcolm and Ethan come in, we're supposed to know that there's something a little bit different about them. And so the music reflects that. Okay?
I don't know what to do. I should get out. A bar, a party or two. I sure could use a friend. Somebody new. But there's that horrifying moment when they ask you what you do. Hi, I'm Malcolm. A complete loser who still lives at home with his mother. All right.
So listen, this section is very interesting because you know, we have to find out stuff about these guys, but how are they going to do it in a clever way? So the way they do it in this example is, this opening tune is, there's that horrifying moment when they ask you what you do. So somebody comes up to you, oh, so what do you do? You're meeting them at a party, and you have to say, I'm a complete loser who lives at home with his mother. I just defrosted my refrigerator and vacuumed the living room. I'm out of work, divorced, dead up to my balls. I need some serious dental work. And by the way, look at how much we get from Jerry. We get so much because, again, he is the main character. Okay, the other guys have these little snippets, but Jerry has the whole thing. All right, so setting up a hierarchy among the characters, even in those dialogue lines. Here's that rich chord I was talking about, the B flat 7 with a 9 and a 13. Okay. A little counterpoint here, imitative counterpoint on the same basic motive of the piece. Interesting here that want some veal or a steak on the table, they're expanding the 4 chord, okay, the E flat sonority. Here on just want to feel like I know what my label is, they're expanding the 5 harmony, the F, and then finally back to B flat for the end, with some dissonant riff kind of against this B flat 7. So really fun tune, great music. Okay, now some other things about the tune that, you were supposed to do. What is the function of the song dramatically? What do we learn about the characters and the world of the show? Well, Scrap introduces the main characters. They're unemployed mill workers. They're angry, depressed, self-loathing. They think of themselves as Scrap. They're emasculated. They feel like a wife rather than a husband. They're blue-collar guys living in a blue-collar town, Buffalo. Their lives are a mess, child custody battles, decaying teeth, debt. They drink, smoke pot, jerk off on the couch, watching porn. But Malcolm and Ethan are a little different. Their music, kind of like heart and soul, tells us that they're more sensitive, typical, maybe musical theater guys, and they are lonely. But they all want a job. Okay, how does the music help convey the character? The harmony for Scrap does most of the work to characterize these pathetic characters. There are tons of wrong notes, wrong chords, strange dissonances. The melodic motives and short angular phrases repeat and repeat, emphasizing that their lives are boring and repetitive. When they sing Scrap in the final section, they are singing complex, dense harmony in a high vocal range to stress their frustration and yearning for something stable. How do the lyrics convey character? Well, slang characterizes these guys as lower class, unrefined. Jerry, he's a self-professed loser, he's brash, he's aggressive, so he says asshole, slob, roll another joint, beer, sitting like an ape, hanky, and porno tape. Dave, he's emasculated and depressed, so he says husband instead of the wife, digging through the garbage in my head, and he does call people jerky. When I was listening, I was thinking of that, so I thought I'd write it down as well. Malcolm and Ethan are a little less edgy and thoughtful. They say words like horrifying and lonely, and I sure could use a friend. So, if the song were cut from the show, would we lose part of the plot? Well, this song is perfect to introduce the characters and the world. It would be much less satisfying to find out these important truths through dialogue. It really is great to have this song in the show. Okay, now turning to You Rule My World for a second. I'm not sure if you should have listened to this one by now, right?
Look at you, you're lying there. I feel your milky skin, caress your silky hair. For all these years you've been with me, I tilt my chin and what I see is only you. Not feet or knees, you grumble and I stumble towards the Munster cheese. I'm in your spell, a chubby fool, and anyone can tell you roll my world, my world. No matter what I do, you rule my world.
Okay, so that's You Rule My World. Dave is singing. I don't know if you got this, but Dave is not singing to his wife, who's in bed with him. He's singing to his stomach. He's ruled by his eating compulsion, so he's dominated. And that's the way that he uses the word ruled in that song. Okay, so this hook means dominated or whatever. You, my stomach, rule my world, right? Now Harold sings a verse as well. Whoops.
No matter My life, my dream, my lady with the $80 slumber cream, the $100 haircuts, the novelty appliances we never use, and all those shoes you bought for when we go on the Alaskan cruise. My boat is sinking, I don't care, you're everything I want, you rule my world, you're everything I need.
Okay, and then we go into the bridge, the B section. So those were two A's, and then we're going to go into the B section and back to the A. So this is a typical AABA song, very important form for musical theater, and we're going to listen to a bunch of tunes for next week that have this form. So for Harold, what does it mean, you rule my world? Well, your out of control spending makes me bound to earn lots of money and support you. So ruled equals my actions are determined by you. I do everything for you to try to, make money and support you so that we can have this lifestyle. Yeah, he's unemployed, but he's been putting on the charade for months, going to work, dressing in a suit and tie, going to work, but not really going to work, just going to look for work. So Harold is living a lie, basically. But notice the music for this song. It's a schlocky romantic ballad, but it's funny at the same time because we see Dave singing to his stomach, a love song to his stomach, right? And all the lyrics are so witty. My lady with the $80 slumber cream. There's a lot of good stuff, imagery in this song. So really super. Okay, now, but typical. So the hook has two different meanings, one for Dave and one for Harold, and it has a third meaning for Vicky and Georgie when they sing the reprise later in the song in the show.
I look at you, and what I see, the only man I ever loved in front of me. I chose you, Dave, it hasn't changed. You're everything I want, you rule my. Look at you, you're standing there. You're still a prince, you're still the answer to a prayer. And what I see is all I want, you're everything, you're everything. Anywhere you go, I'll be there. I'll follow you. Anything you want, I'll give anything at all. Anytime you're lost, that's me there. I'm with you. I'll see you back home.
And I may be a softie, but that one really gets me every time. Why? Because we've heard this melody before. We've heard this whole theme before. So we're familiar with the tune, but now we're hearing it in a totally different manner. The guys were depressed at the beginning, but the women are saying, honey, I love you no matter what. You rule my world. You are my Prince Charming. You're my man. You rule. So again, the hook has a different connotation, and it's just, I don't know, it's just good writing to reuse this same melody, the same harmony, the hook, in different contexts. Okay, so another question you guys are supposed to answer: describe the principal desire for each of the characters, Jerry, Dave, Malcolm, and Harold. And, I put down here, writers have to make this clear, the main desires for your characters, right? Because if we want to get behind these characters and root for them throughout the context of the show, we really have to know what they want. So for Jerry, he wants to keep his son, he wants to get a job, and he wants to amount to something. Dave wants to lose weight, get a job, and reconnect with his wife. Malcolm wants to get out of the clutches of his mother, get a job, find someone. Harold wants to keep his financial difficulties from his wife, get a job, and maintain his lifestyle. And of course, you know, some of these things happen, some of these things really don't. And so that's, you know, that's the reality sometimes of musical theater. If we want to keep it real, it's not a complete happy ending, right? We get some things that we want, but other things we don't quite get, or we get them in a different way that we haven't expected. So, but it's really important to know what the characters want at the beginning. So these pages in the script, what are the actions and how do they augment the song? Well, the stakes are getting bigger and bigger toward the end of the show. So Jerry doesn't get the money from Pam. Pam continues to threaten Jerry with the loss of Nathan. In fact, she gives him an ultimatum. If he doesn't get himself together in, I think it's 2 weeks or something. And then Nathan gives $1,000 to Jerry. Nathan is the son. He gives $1,000 to Jerry because he believes in him. This is money that Nathan, you know, they were saving for college or whatever. So, you know, now if Jerry screws up, then he's letting down his son, his wife, and everybody. And so the stakes are getting higher and higher, and that's good musical theater writing, crafting the stakes to get higher and higher. So Jerry never believed in himself, and now he realizes that Nathan truly does believe in him, and he has to do it for Nathan. So what does the full Monty mean, both literally and metaphorically? I guess I didn't answer this one, but so literally, they decide that they're going to take off all of their clothes for the strip show. Remember that they meet the ladies, and the ladies say, "Ah, we just saw the Chippendales. We're not going to go see you dance. Why would we want to do that?" And Jerry's desperate, and so he says, "Well, the Chippendales don't take off everything, but we do." So that's how he's going to get everybody to come. And as you remember from reading the script, they do get everybody to come. There's a huge turnout for for the strip show. But metaphorically, what does it mean? Well, it means that they are going to go as far as necessary to reach goal. They're not going to stop halfway. You know, it does no good to kind of do a little bit of work toward your goal, right? You have to go the full Monty and take all the risks to make things happen. So, all right. Now, there's lots of other stuff that I've written about these various tunes. I'm going to just describe a little bit about Big Ass Rock. Did you listen to that one? I hope so. Big Ass Rock is a great song.
Let's find a rock, I mean a big ass rock, or maybe something like a cinder block is better. I'll hoist it up and drop it on your face, my buddy. And just before the lights go out, you'll see my smile and you'll know you've got a friend with a rock. Who cares? I mean a big ass rock or rope. I got some quality rope made for a man who's devoid of hope like you are, my buddy Michael. Oh, that's Malcolm. Yeah, Malcolm, right. And I won't leave you swinging there, twitching like a fish while you claw the air. I'll grab your feet and pal of mine. I'll pull real hard and snap your spinal cord. This world is cold when you're alone and they ignore you. But don't kill yourself. We'll do it for you. You've got a friend. You've got a friend. You've got a friend.
So again, an extremely witty song from Full Monty, Big Ass Rock. So literally, they're saying, we will help kill you. You want to die? Okay, we'll be friends. We'll help you out. We'll roll you over with a steamroller. You know, we'll hang you. We'll pull your legs so your spinal cord snaps. You know, we'll find a big ass rock and drop it on your face. So, but what's the subtext? They're just guys. They're kidding around and they're saying, look, lighten up. You know, everything's going to be okay. We're your friends. We're there for you. Don't kill yourself. So in a really in character way, okay, these guys are kind of edgy, tough, blue collar guys. In that they're saying, we are your friends. We're there for you. You know, we love you, basically. So that's what they're saying. But they find a really witty way to say it, and that's why we think it's so entertaining when we see it. Again, it's here's the form. Feels like an AABA, but the last A is really different melodically, so I'm going to call it C. You know, I just think of the wonderful images in this, right? I wonder if I've written them down anywhere here. Okay, yeah. Rock, cinder block, hoist, lights, just before the lights go out, right? Smile, twitching like a fish, swinging, claw the air, lamb, railroad, single-edged razor, beer, and Drano. So the images are just wonderful in this song. You know, they're specific and concrete, and you can see them in your mind. I put visual images down here. You can see them, all these things. Twitching like a fish as you claw the air, like when you're holding a fish and you've just caught them by the hook and they're twitching, you know. It's just very visual, helps us imagine what we're seeing. Okay, Big Ass Rock is a great number. So I'm asking you to take another listen to that one. If you didn't pay too close attention, you should really take another listen to that. Now I'm going to scroll through some of my notes from the various other songs, and you can match up what you did a little bit. Okay, so I'll just pause a few seconds on each one. You can always stop the recording if you want. Okay, so a few things to talk about. All right, so your next, so collaboration. You guys are going to have collaborators for your first project, and you should be brainstorming about songs with lies in them, because lies are so effective in musical theater writing. So your first song is going to be an AABA song based on a lie. Okay, so you're going to be listening to some AABA songs as well, because AABA is such an important musical theater form. I want you to listen to a number of songs so that you can understand how they work. Okay? All right, so a couple things. Collaborators. So who are the collaborators? This is who I want to collaborate on the first song. And by the way, I'll give you a copy of this document at some point, but these are the contact information for everybody that I have so far. And you can contact each other and arrange a meeting to start collaborating. All right, so the collaborators for the first project I want to be Jiren and Kara. All right, and Kanako and Ben. Okay, they're number 2 over here. And then Cheng and Justin, number 3. And Daniel, Kevin, and Roland will be group 4. The reason I'm grouping you 3 together is because Roland and Kevin didn't make the first class, so Daniel, hopefully you can clue them in and kind of help help get everybody rolling in the right direction for the first project. Okay. Now, if you're not working with somebody that you were dying to work with, just remember that we'll have 3 opportunities to collaborate in this class. So I'll mix you guys up a little bit more. Okay. So those are your collaborators, and I've asked you to meet with your collaborator, come up with reasons somebody would lie to each other, a scene, a situation, a bunch of different scenarios. Okay, so hopefully you'll do that this week in preparation for class next week. The other thing I want you to do is listen to those AABA songs that I showed you on the class reserve. Here they are. So if you didn't catch that, go back to the beginning of this video and it shows you how to get into all these AABA songs. And what are you going to do with the AABA songs? You are going to fill out listening work. Okay, listen to all of them and fill out 3 worksheets. So this is the class website, and back to the class website, and it tells you how to get to the library reserves. Okay? And then you're going to listen to all the songs and take notes. Note the commonalities among these AABA song forms. Use a worksheet as a guide for what to listen for. And then you're required to fill out at least three AABA sheets. Okay? Now, this link does not work, I'm sorry, but you can just go to the class website. Now, if I go back to this main page again, I'll show you that you can get to the where is it? Worksheets. Okay. By the way, this is meet with your collaborator, come up with a hook for an AAB song. Okay, so that's there as well. Here is a blank worksheet. Okay, what does it say? What is the exact form? So sometimes it'll be AABA, then there will be more, and then you'll go back to ABA. Diagram the song form, list the first and last lyric of each section so we know what we're all talking about. Please be thorough on this. On the right, summarize the entire lyric of each section in a short phrase. What is the hook? Where does it fall in the song form and how many times? How does the B section contrast? It should really contrast the song. So is it phrase length, phrase location, rhythm of phrase, etc.? How does the song progress dramatically? Is there a realization or a decision made? Okay, so you can print these and print out at least 3 of them and do some worksheets. And what I'm going to look for right now, I forgot to do this earlier, but see if I, okay, song. Okay, so it looks like I've done some of these worksheets. And so, for example, let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. Okay. Well, we'll just start with some people. So, some people, let's go back to the website.
People can get a thrill knitting sweaters and sitting still. That's okay for some people who don't know they're alive. Some people can thrive and bloom, living life in the living room. That's perfect for some people of 105. But I at least gotta try. When I think of all the sights that I gotta see at all the places I gotta play, all the things that I gotta be at. Come on, Papa, what do you say? Some people can be content playing bingo and paying rent. That's peachy for some people, for some humdrum people to be. But some people ain't me.
circuit. Give me a chance and I know I can work it. I had a dream, just as real as can be, Papa. There I was in Mr. Orkin's office, and he was saying to me, Rose, get yourself some new orchestrations, new routines, and red velvet curtains. Get a feathered hat for the baby, photographs in front of the theater. Get an agent, and in jig time you'll be being booked in the big time. Oh, what a dream, a wonderful dream, Papa. And all that I need is 88 bucks, Papa. That's what he said, Papa. Only 88 bucks.
You ain't getting 88 cents from me, Rose.
Well, I'll get it someplace else. But I'll get it and get my kids out. Goodbye to blueberry pie. Good riddance to all the socials I had to go to, all the lodges I had to play, all the Shriners I said hello to. Hey, LA, I'm coming your way. Some people sit on their butts, got the dream, yeah, but not the guts. That's living for some people, for some humdrum people, I suppose. Well, they can stay and rot. But not wrong.
Whoa, what a great number from Gypsy. That's Bette Midler. So I don't know if you recognize that voice, but man, she is something else. What a performer. Okay, some people, that's Gypsy, the Roses song from the beginning. I think it may be the, I can't remember exactly when it occurs, but it's a big turning point because her father refuses her and she says, I'm going to do it anyway, and she grabs something of his and steals it, and then she's going to hawk it and make some money to support her theater addiction, let's say. Okay, now I realize I did kind of a cheat. I didn't put down the first phrase of each line, but I'd like you guys to do that for each section. You know, what's the lyric for the first part of it? Okay. What's the hook? Some people. It happens at the beginning of each verse and then the end of the third A section. So that's when the hook happens. Some people ain't me. You know. How does the B section contrast with the A section? The phrase lengths are longer. The phrase location, the A is on the downbeat. Some people, but B, ba-da-da-da-da-da. So it's on the pickup note. So, you know, they're different, pardon me, different rhythmic emphasis. The rhythm of the phrase, longer note durations at the beginning of B, right? Da dee 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 dee. So that's a big contrast to A, and that's an important part of this form is contrast. What kind of key? Well, both of them are in major, but modulating. Let's see. What did I mean about that? I think the B section modulates a bit more. Vocal tessitura, B is higher than A, right? Chord length, longer. So there are longer harmonic rhythms in the B section. So that's going to contrast the A section. Lyric, let's see. She says I in B section. So that's the point of view. So B is focused on a solution to the problems, and it's stated with the I pronoun. How does the song progress dramatically? Because she can't get the money, Rhodes decides to go to LA and be done with her current life. And she steals Dad's plaque because it's gold and she can pawn it for money. So that's what happens in the course of this song. All right, so that's what you have to do for at least 3 of those AABA song forms. Okay, so basically that's it for today. I want you to stay on track and make sure you meet with your collaborator and do these AABA song listenings for next time. And I'm sorry we couldn't meet this week, but keep up with your work and I'll see you next week.